All right, let's get our hands dirty, shall we? Today, we are diving deep into the amazing world of strawberry plants. We're going to talk about those long, viney arms they send out, the runners, and how learning to manage them is the secret to a bigger, way better harvest.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. The first time you see a runner, it's kind of wild, right? You're thinking, wait, don't plants come from seeds? But strawberries, they have this superpower. They can literally clone themselves. A single plant sends out this stem, it finds a new patch of soil, and just boom, a whole new plant. It's an incredible process, but if you don't stay on top of it, your nice, tidy patch can get out of control, like really fast. So let's break down the cast of characters here. First up, you have the original mother plant. She's your main producer. Then she sends out a runner, which is that long stem that travels across the soil. And right at the end of that runner, you get a brand new genetically identical daughter plant. It's pretty simple, right? Mother, runner, daughter. That's the family. Now, if you want to get technical about it, this runner is actually called a stolon. It's basically the plant's built-in copy and paste system. It's making free plants for you, which is awesome. But, and this is a big but, these free plants come at a cost to the mother plant's energy, which leads us to a really big decision. And here it is, the big one. When you see that runner pop up, you've got two choices and two choices only. Do you train it to make a new plant? Or do you trim it off to save the mother plant's energy? This is pretty much the central question of managing your strawberry patch. So, how do you choose? Well, it really just comes down to your goals. You're going to want to train the runner if you want to expand your patch, right? Or if the mother plant is super healthy and it's still pretty early in the season. But on the flip side, you'll trim it if your bed is already packed, if the plant looks a little stressed, or if it's getting late in the year and a new plant just won't have time to get established before the frost hits. This little graphic here just lays it all out so perfectly. You train them when everything's just right. Lots of sun, plenty of space, and a healthy plant that's ready to go. But you trim them to conserve that precious energy when the plant needs to focus, like during a heat wave or when your garden bed is already full. It's all about you directing that energy where you want it to go. But listen, there is one rule that is absolutely non-negotiable for any first-year strawberry plant. You always trim the runners, no exceptions. In that first year, every bit of the plant's energy has to go downwards into building a super strong root system. Trust me, that's the foundation for amazing fruit in year 2 and for years to come. So, let's say you've made the call. You're going to train your runners and expand your patch. Excellent choice. Now we get to the really fun part. Actively rooting those daughter plants so you can create a huge, thriving strawberry bed. You've basically got two main ways to go about this. You can root the daughter plant right there in the ground, which is perfect for filling out bigger garden beds. Or you can root it in its own little pot. This gives you a ton more control, and it's perfect if you want to create starter plants to move somewhere else, or maybe even give away to friends. And the whole process is actually super simple. You see that runner stretching out from the mother's center? To get it to root, all you do is gently press that little baby daughter plant into the soil and then pin it down with a garden stable or even just a small rock. That constant contact with the soil is what lets it grow its own roots, and in just a few weeks, it's a totally independent plant. Okay, so we've talked about what to do, but what happens if you just do nothing? This is where things can really go sideways. Letting those runners go wild leads to two major problems: overcrowding and just plain old plant fatigue. And I'm really not kidding when I say jungle. Think about it. A single healthy plant can shoot out 5, 6, maybe 7 runners in one season. By year 2, your nice, neat rows can turn into a dense, tangled mess of leaves with almost no fruit. And just look at this. The difference is night and day, right? On the left, you've got that overcrowded bed, and it's pretty much all leaves. There's no airflow, which is just an invitation for disease. And the plants are all fighting so hard for nutrients that nobody can make good fruit. But on the right, a well-managed bed with space, good airflow, and big, healthy berries. The results really do speak for themselves. Think of it like this. A plant that's trying to support way too many runners is just going to burn itself out. So you gotta watch for the warning signs. Dozens of runners, but no flowers. Tiny little berries that don't taste like much, yellowing leaves, and just stunted growth. If you see this stuff, it's a cry for help. That plant is exhausted. So, to finish up, let's just quickly run through the biggest mistakes people make with strawberry runners. Seriously, avoiding these few things is the key to having a successful patch for a long, long time. Okay, so let's hit the highlights of what not to do. First, don't just let every single runner take root. You gotta be selective. Second, absolutely positively follow that year one rule. Third, never ever try to propagate from a weak or sick mother plant. Also, remember to label your different varieties. And finally, give your new plants enough space to actually grow. It really is all about being intentional.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Managing runners isn't just another chore on the list, it's a strategy. When you guide a plant's energy with purpose, when you know exactly when to trim and when to train, you're not just getting more strawberry plants out of the deal, you're actively building a healthier, more productive, and self-sustaining garden that's going to reward you for years to come.